जय हिंद दोस्तों। तो कैसे हो मेरे देशवासी। आ गया हूँ मैं अपनी दूसरी वीडियो लेकर, जिसमें हम जानेंगे भारतीय संविधान के इतिहास का दूसरा भाग। सो लेट्स बिगिन। हिस्ट्री ऑफ इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पार्ट 2। As we saw in our first video, how the British East India Company reached India, how they started administration in India. While administrating, they brought several acts. We have covered these acts in our previous video. If you haven't seen that video, there is a link in description. You can watch that video. Now we are going to know what is the reason behind the British Crown overcome British East India Company. Here are some reasons. First reason was subsidiary alliance. It was introduced by Richard Wellesley in 1798. Second reason was doctrine of lapse. It was introduced by Dalhousie in 1848. Third reason was heavy taxations. Fourth reason was there is a big difference between British soldiers and Indian soldiers, like wages, rank, and many more. And the last but not the least reason was introduction of Enfield rifle in British Army. To load the rifle, sepoy had to bite the cartridge open to release the powder. The grease used on these cartridge was rumored to be made of beef and pork fat, which was hated by the Hindus and the Muslims in the army. As a result, on March 29, 1857, one Indian sepoy of 34 Bengal native infantry of the company's army, Mangal Pandey, fired on two sergeant major of his regiment. The revolt of 1857 ended in failure, but it promoted the spirit of nationalism and patriotism in Indian people. After passing all these events, the British East India Company was not able to rule in India. Subsequently, the British Crown had to come to rule in India. British Crown also passed several acts for their smooth administrating in India when they came in India. Now we are going to know or study these acts one by one. So let's start. First act was Government of India Act 1858. Through this act, the power was transferred from the company to the British Crown. Court of Director and Board of Control were abolished. The next point was the post of Secretary of State was established. A 15-member council was established to assist the Secretary of State. The Secretary of State was a member of British Cabinet and only answerable to the British Parliament. Next point was the post of Governor General of India was changed to the Viceroy of India. Charles John Canning became the first Viceroy of India. Unitary, rigid, and centralized administrative structure was created through this act. Next act was Indian Council Act 1861. Provincial Legislative Council were introduced through this act. Council of Governor was known as Imperial Legislative Council. Next point was now Indians were added in law making process. Those three Indian members who were added are Maharaja of Patiala, Raja of Banaras, and Sir Dinkar Rao. Portfolio system was introduced through this act by Canning in 1859. Next act was Indian Council Act 1892. Through this act, British Council introduced the element of election in India for the first time. According to this act, Indian members in Legislative Council has given the power of debate on social issue like budget. Next act was Indian Council Act 1909. This act, also known as Morley-Minto Reform. John Morley, Secretary of the State for India, and Minto, the Viceroy of India, announced some reform in British Parliament. Communal representation was introduced because Muslims were given a separate electorates and there were reservation of seats on religious ground. Indirect elections, non-official members who are indirectly elected. They can discuss the budget and also cross-questioning can be done through this act. Satyendra Nath Sinha became the first Indian to join the Viceroy Executive Council. Next act was Indian Council Act 1919. This act, also known as Montagu-Chelmsford Reform. Edwin Samuel Montagu, the Secretary of State for India, and Chelmsford, Viceroy of India, prepared report to introduce self-governing institution in India. A bicameral legislature at the center for the first time. Direct election were introduced for the first time in India through this act. Separate electorates were further extended to Sikh in the Punjab and non-Brahmin in Madras. Diarchy system was introduced in the provincial, which had two subjects, transferred and reserved. Next act was Government of India Act 1935. Diarchy was abolished through this act, but it introduced at the federal level. The division of subject was made into three lists: federal list, provincial list, and concurrent list. Next point was establishment of All India Federation consisting of British province and princely state as a unity, but it's failed because princely state had not joined the federation. This act introduced bicameralism in 6 out of 11 provinces. Next was the federal legislature had two chambers, the Council of State and the Federal Assembly. The Council of State was to be permanent body with 1/3 member retiring every 2 years. By this act, separate electorates for depressed class, women and labor. Last point was the establishment of Reserve Bank of India to control the currency and credit of the country. The last act was by the British, the Indian Independence Act 1947. It ended the British rule in India and declared India as an independent and sovereign state from 15 August 1947. By this act, the office of Secretary of State was abolished. No more authority of British Crown. This act provides for the setting up of two independent dominions to be known as India and Pakistan from 15 August 1947. The legislature of each dominion would have full power to make laws for their dominion. From 15 August 1947, India ceased to be a dependency of British Crown over the Indian state. Last point is the Governor General and Provincial Governor acted as constitutional heads. Now this is end for today. In next video we are going to know how our constitution was made. If this video helps you, then like the video, subscribe my channel, hit the bell icon and share if you want your friend or anyone to know about the history of Indian Constitution. Thanks for watching.